Am I late? I thought it was 11:45. Was it? Maverick G. Enough. I thought because you were not saying more RC, I thought Pyas bujh gayi and enough has happened. Oh, sound check also has happened. Hi, hello, good morning ish. Good morning ish. After breakfast, before lunch is called brunch. And our agenda is working with our DI set and know what we. The focus is to notice that it is nothing very challenging. Some of it is, but there are enough sets which are zero prep, 0 day, basic maths, and I can't even say how basic. That means addition, subtraction, counting kind of math sets are always present. So our agenda is to solve the set and then generally hang and notice how easy it is. And that's the case for at least 40% of the sets, and then the next 20% are a little more difficult, and then a couple of sets are very, very difficult, and those are for champion problem solvers, analytical thinkers who excel at this, right? So all of that has been covered already, but major agenda for most people will remain just to get those 8-10 questions right. You already passed the cutoff boundary. So this is that kind of a set which requires no preparation. It just requires you to observe it without any palpitations in your chest, without losing your breath, and without losing too much sleep, etc. And as an experiment, take this set to your 7th standard cousin or sibling and explain to them what is happening, and they will solve it without any hyperventilation as such. So that's the agenda, more than just solving the set. So sorry, monologue. Hi Parvinder, hi Prabhat. Sir, next source for RC practice. Maverick, go away. Play some video games. Hi Chandan, hi Sritam, hi Maverick. Morning. Hi Abhay, hi Sujit. T10 to launch means T minus 10 minutes to for the rocket to launch, right? In the when I was in NASA and a rocket engineer, before the rocket would launch, we would tell the minister T minus 30 and counting. In movies, when the spaceship you press the when I was in a spaceship and I'm pretending to be another person right now, but when you're in a spaceship and you want to destroy the spaceship and you press the button, it'll say T minus 20 to destruction. So that's what I meant by T minus 10. Hi everyone. So let's, it's already, no, we have a minute or two. So what's up? Sunday ho ya Monday, रोज खाएं DILR के डंडे, and that is the best exercise. So I was worrying, I mean, I was generally scheduling it late at night. Then I was like, why? Let me just deliver what I want to deliver. Whoever wants to catch it later can catch it later anyway. That's the best way. So, shall we get started? Is this, yeah, data available? No starting. First, use your opposable thumbs. Uh, pay your obeisance. Teeth, tax collection, chauthai, etc. I have one more. Yeah, I'm out of those. So the data is already on the screen, and even the link for this particular document was shared earlier. Somebody has sent me this file a month back. I'm responding to it now. Um, there's a cat trying to enter, so I'm just going to wait if it's going to jump on the wires. No. Thank you, Cat G. And I will tell you the story. The link, I mean, the document will be available anyway, or you can find it on the internet. It's CAT 2019. I don't know which slot, but it's a very unique looking set, so you will find it. and it's a very easy piece of data if you're not stuck, or I mean you're not approaching it with your preconceived formulas. You're not like childish enough to expect a bar or a table or a line graph only. You're okay, you're an adult, you can deal with any kind of information presented to you after a minute or two of struggle. So this chart essentially, I hope it's visible, and or I will zoom into it. Yeah, okay. So this chart essentially tells me that these are 5 vendors: vendor 1, vendor 2, vendor 3, vendor 4, vendor 5. Do take a second to notice purple small dots is vendor 1, orange longish dot is vendor 2, full continued black is vendor 3. So take a look at it, not be in a hurry, right? And these 5 vendors are ranked on reliability, reach, quality, features, customer service, etc. I will zoom in a little more now since you already know the vendor information. So reliability, reach, quality, features, customer service, cost, doesn't matter what the name is, the issue is the game. And all of them were rated from 0 to 100. Excuse me a second. Sorry, bye. I have to finish. And they were rated from 0 to 100, and that's the game, that's it. So for example, this black line, because it's right in front of my eyes, this is vendor 3, and if I look at the score, it's between 70 and 80. So that is the only challenge. That means you have to peek in a little, zoom in, get close to the set and observe the information. In the reliability criteria, this value is somewhere between 75 and 80. Now what will also happen is, some people will get annoyed with the fact that I'm not very clear whether it's 74 or 75. But as you play the game, you will notice that wasn't very important at all. So one of the tips in DILR is don't overthink, just observe, assimilate and move on till you get to the steps, right? So in reliability, the same thing, this dotted blue line is vendor 5. So vendor 5 is at 60. So it's as simple as that. In the reliability criteria, now can I figure out the information for vendor 1, vendor 2 and vendor 4, etc. Are we okay so far? So I have a question for you. I am asking you, in reliability, can you tell me what are the values, approximate values for each vendor? That's it. You just have to look at the data and approximate. This is below 30 and above 20, towards 30, so 28 maybe or 27 maybe, right? This is at 40, this is a little above 50, this is exactly at 60, this is between 70 and 80. So what I want you to do right now is, now give it name. This black one is vendor 3, what is the value approximately? This blue one is vendor 5, what is the value? So give me in the chat reply values for vendor 1 to vendor 5. Otherwise, if you are not going to participate, what's the point of this live anyway? The pre-recorded is preloaded and it's a rocket. Yeah, I'm waiting for values, guys, because in a minute you will realize, this is also just for warm up, in a minute you will realize that even this much effort will not be needed, but just as a warm up and to understand the game. So V3, Chandan says V3 is 76, okay. Sritam Das has given 52, 40, 76, 28, 60, and I'm assuming you have given it in order V1 to V5, right? So V2 is 42, V2 is 42, okay, great. So right, and some answers are enough, and just now you can just say, okay, I understand the value and I understand the graph. This connection, this line drawn from here to here was pointless, right? You now just have to go to the next category. For example, now I'm thinking of reach. And the zooming that I am doing in the computer is the same thing that happens in the mind. You go a little closer, you focus a little more, and the rest of the world fades out, just like a cricketer watches a ball or a footballer watches the football. So the same game, right? Continuing, same game can I do for reach? This is vendor 1, and I might have to look back again and again because I am getting old and senile. This is vendor 1, the blue one is vendor 5, and then the black one is vendor 3. So check the values. The other annoying thing will be that the scale is written this way, but it is not written this way. So you'll have to count back a couple of times: 90, 80, 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, 20, and 10. So you'll have to do that again and maybe use your fingers to touch the screen and do that. But those are minor annoyances, and those are the kind of games you have to play all your life anyway. So get used to it, and later you will get paid for it, right? So get over the annoyance. So I am asking for the same data for reach now. So vendor 1 is 80. Let me check. This purple is vendor 1. This next one, vendor 4, I think. No, vendor 5 is 70. And then you can organize it or not organize it, up to you. It's better to write it exactly. But this is just for warm up and getting started with the set in terms of the thinking process, right? It could be faster than this or slower than this depending on your personal preferences. So now I am going to the questions, and what you should notice now is I will move the I put up the question on the screen. It's better without bold. It says list of all the vendors who are among the top 2 scorers on the maximum number of aspects is. So first of all, understand the story. You want a list of vendors who are among the top 2. So you will take a look and you will see different people are in top 2. Then you have to figure out who is in top 2 the most, right? That's the game is as simple as that. Are we okay with the problem statement? What is the challenge? It says give me the list of vendors who are in the top 2, and not just in top 2, who are in the top 2 the most number of times. Are we okay with the problem statement? Yes, no? Because I think once again you will realize, especially if you're coming here from the RC series, you will realize it's the same thing. Basic common sense, a little bit of alert concentration, and you will see that it's not even data heavy, it's not even calculation driven. You just touch your finger and you are done. So the problem is clear to everyone, I'm assuming. So I'm giving you a little hint of how I have organized the data. So I am looking at, let me move this down. So what I've done is I've taken 2 steps for you. So for reliability, for example, and I start thinking with one story. Let me not overcomplicate the data for myself. So for reliability, for example, I notice that vendor 3 is rank 1. So I've captured it. So for reliability, rank 1 goes to vendor 3 and rank 2 goes to vendor 5. I've already captured it. So this is vendor 5, the blue dotted line, and he is the second one. And notice this observation is just visual. You did not even need to check the data point whether it's 72 or 56. So that first 5 minutes that I made you count was just for fun, but it will come in handy in other questions when needed, right? Are we okay with the game? So in reliability, V3 is rank 1 and V5 is rank 2, and it is as simple as observation, like right in front of your eyes, not even numbers anymore. I have done the same thing for reach. In reach, rank 1 is this purple one. I check very slowly, very systematically, especially for beginners or strugglers. Vendor 1 is rank 1. Who's rank 2? This blue dotted line is rank 2. So vendor 5, vendor 5. Now, if I ask you, in the journey so far, who has appeared the most in the top 2? I haven't calculated or found out everything. I will say V5 has appeared the most for in the top 2 ranks, right? So now I'm leaving the rest of the work to you. I want the data for quality. Who are the top 2? I will not put it up. You have to tell me. It's your game, your future. Then who is the top 2? Who are the top 2 for feature? And then who are the top 2? Now, by now you should know the game. Customer service, and then finally one more for cost. Waiting for your answers, guys. Yeah. So I've given you data for reliability and reach. I want data for quality. For quality, everybody says no. Chandan says V1, V2. Ayush says V1, V5. Sujit says V1, V2. Ayush says V1, V2. Sridham says V1 and V2. So I will just go for the majority. It's your game to think. I will just take your word for it. And that is my preferred approach, guys, that you have to think on your own. Is this okay? You can confirm it with each other, or let me do it only. This is vendor 1. No, sorry, quality. See, that's the kind of mistake one makes. So in quality, this is vendor 1, and this orange one is vendor 2. Great. I'm satisfied. So Chandan ji, just paying attention is half the game, right? Now I'm waiting for the same thing. Feature V4 and V5. Feature V4 and V5. Satta Bazaar V4 and V5. Feature, I will just take your word for it. All of you are serious children. Now let's build speed. Feature V4 yellow dirty fellow, and V5 blue dotted line. Correct. Cost, not cost. Customer service. Sritam Das is ahead. Slow down, Sritam. Customer service. Customer service is this one. Again, V4 yellow and V1. I will just go for my own answers. Why wait for anyone? If you want something to be done, do it yourself. Hashtag Atmanirbhar. So cost. Finally, cost. Have I made a mistake in CS? Customer service? No. No, have I made a mistake? No. Customer service is V4 yellow and purple. This purple is the next one. No, it's just visually I can see. Okay, even if I'm making a mistake, it's okay. I don't have to. I am under no pressure. So cost finally, and cost is V3 I think, and the other one is the orange one, which would be V2. Are we okay with this? Did everybody get the same answer? Hashtag all good, relax, take it easy. Now what do we have to do? I figured out who's the top 1, top 2, and it is very important to realize and almost laugh at this, like this level, right? What did you have to do? Just peek in a little and put your finger and see who's high, who's low. But the reality, and I know for sure and I know this not because of the percentile scores, but of the average, the real scores. The real scores are very low, and that's because people look at this and like, oh, I haven't prepared. Have I prepared enough? Did I read my motivational quote today? So everybody is stuck there. Otherwise, it's on the surface. So now all I have to do is who is appearing the most. Let me count. V1 is appearing 1, 2, and 3. So counting, bookkeeping, clerical job. So somebody should write it down. V1 is appearing for 3 times. V2 is appearing once, twice. So V2 is definitely not the most appearing one. V3 once and once. Overall twice. Somebody write it down. V4 once and twice and nowhere else. V5, 1, 2, 3. Go back to the question and tell me the final answer now. Kal. Bye. So congratulations. I hope I haven't solved it for you. You have solved it by yourself. I hope that is visible. This is the latest cat paper, as latest as it can get. The other end of DILR sets is tricky, right? I'm not saying that every set is like that, but the cutoff is available at, there are more than enough sets like this in both DI or LR or whatever you want to call it. I prefer to call it just problem solving because your language dictates how you perceive it, right? Right? Can we move on? I think this is the next question. And what I have also done in this discussion right now, if you notice, is if you had the sheet already, I have gone for the easier, even at the set level, I've gone for the setter question first, because the other two questions will require at least addition or just looking at the value, which might be a little bit of a headache. But this one, so this is the same question, list of all the vendors who are among the top 3 vendors on all 6 aspects, right? That means what you just did right now for top 2, now you have to think of top 3, and while doing so, you have to look for those who are going to be in top 3 everywhere in all the 6 criteria. So once again, let me go back to the data that I already had, extend it a little. In reliability, who was ranked 3? My arrow is there, but I'll wait for your answer. In reliability, who is ranked 3? One is 3, no, V1 is 3. So vendor 1 is rank 3. Okay. So now what I can do is I can also start thinking about my problem rather than just thinking linearly and counting everything. So let me evaluate whether V1 can be my answer. What am I looking for? I'm looking for those vendors who are available in top 3 in all the categories. So in reliability, V1 is there. In reach also V1 is there. In Q also V1 is there. In CS also V1 is there. So let me just check features. I hope you are getting the game. I'm taking a little detour and a shortcut because that's how really the mind works. You might go in any direction. So I'm thinking whether V1 is there everywhere or not. He's there in a lot of places. Let me just check features. And if I look at features and I'm looking at vendor 1, the purple one, it is I think 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. So V1 is not in the top 3 in feature. That means in my answers, V1 is definitely ruled out. So if I go back and I look at my options and I say vendor 1 is not my answer, and therefore vendor 1 and vendor 3 is also not my answer. And since now I am playing with options, let me evaluate vendor 3. Are we getting the game? Are we getting the game? The game is thinking. The more, and how do you come to this thinking game, playing game? The more you play playfully, the easier it gets. In the beginning, you will need 20, 30, 50 sets solved well for you, but after that, it's more of a self-driven thing. I am evaluating V3. Tell me if you understand my logic path. What direction am I taking? So I'm evaluating V3 because one of my options did that. V3 is this black line. It's there in reliability. Let me check reach. In reach, it's there in top 3. So I'm not even writing it down now. In reach, it is available in the top 3. Let me go to quality, it is available in the top 3. Let me go to features, it is available in the top 3. Let me go to customer service, it is available in the top 3. And let me go to cost, it is available in the top 3. So I hope as you progress with the problem, your solving time in the problem itself will ideally should reduce, because your brain gets warmed up and you're like more familiar with the data. So now give me the final answer, guys. I've already worked it out. You have already worked it out. Right, so you've already got. So the only thing I think the primary skill that you have to work on is to approach the problem with a very fresh mind and not judge the problem by the cover, right? Do not judge the book by the cover, because it's very, very easy so far. I hope you agree. Say yes if it is easy so far. जी जी जनाब. So let me. I've become so fast at this. And learn to celebrate every time you solve a problem, right? Like feel very, very happy. Oh yes, oh wow, it's so easy. And when it's not easy, after the struggle it becomes easy. That's a different kind of satisfaction. If you struggle with the problem for 2 days and then you finally understand it, that's a very good feeling. So this is the next question, or this was the first question. On which aspect is the median score of 5 vendors the least? Median just means average. That means on which aspect? An aspect, what do I mean? Reliability or reach or quality or feature or customer service, which is the least. Now again at this point you can start adding it up, like find the exact values or add it up and then divide it by 5, etc. Or you just write down, try this experiment, write down the right reliability and just the values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Even the order doesn't matter because you just want to find the average right now. Similarly for reach, write down the values, right? Don't take an approximate guess right now. And while you write down the values, you will just see, okay, which one is higher, which one is lower, without even doing the sum and division by 5. That is my tip, but it's up to you how you want to do it. Oh, sorry. Is there a difference between median and mean? I keep forgetting. What is the difference between mean and median? Mean, median, and mode, right? It's median, not the median. No, it's not. Okay, great. In fact, then I put unnecessary effort. My answer still came out right. So what you should do is uh, write down the values and from the increasing order, right? And find out the third term for each category. Easier work. Correct. I got it. I did it by averages and I still got the same answer. So I didn't think too much after that. In fact, I did not even do it. I just observed, made visual sense of it more than anything. So great. Median is the middle value when you arrange them in order, and just arrange them in order. So for example, in reliability, the median term is going to be this 52. and or whatever the value is. And similarly for reach, the median term is going to be this 90, 80, 70, 90, 80, 70, 60, 62 or 65 or whatever, right? And then just keep doing the same or give me the values for all of them and finally tell me the answer. Sujit has given me the answer. Customer service. Customer service 1, 2, 3. This. Right? So, in fact, then I mean, even this question is very easy. I thought at least it required addition or whatever. But then this is also just like point your finger and you have to find the third value from top or bottom. Doesn't matter because there are only 5. Are we okay with this? So great, you guys did even better than me. Right? So one more question I think and then we are done with this set. Okay, sorry, I'm confusing. The next one was the average one. So this is the final question. A vendor's final score is the average of their scores on all 6 aspects. Which vendor has the highest final score? So, and once again, my 2-bit tip would be, one is I can find the average exactly, vendor 1, vendor 3, vendor 4 and vendor 2, or I can just observe between vendor 1 and vendor 3, right? I'm looking at the highest. So let me do just a binary comparison between vendor 1 and vendor 3. So for example, in reliability, vendor 1 is way ahead of vendor 3. In reach also, vendor 1 is way ahead of sorry, I'm doing the wrong vendor 4 I'm doing. So in reliability, vendor 1 is behind vendor 3. Black is the vendor 3 one. In reach, vendor 1 is ahead of vendor 3. In quality also, vendor 1 is ahead of vendor 3. But in features, vendor 1 is ahead of vendor 3 is ahead of vendor 1. And in customer service, the same thing, the inverse thing. And in cost, vendor 3 is ahead of vendor 1. So if you can just find out between these two which is high and which is low, you can figure out one of the options will be ruled out. Then you can compare with the other. Or you can just find out the values, like zoom in a little, put in a little effort and add them together and divide them by 5. Or just the sum will be enough, right? Is the game, so I hope by now the game at least is very, very clear what needs to be done. So I can write it here actually. Vendor 1 is approximately 52 or something. And then here it is 80. And then here is 90, 80, 70 or so. And then 90, 80, 70, 60, 50, 40. And 80, 70, 60, 55 or so, and then 90, 80, 70, 65 or so. Right? So I can Vendor 3 used Calci. Oh yeah, Calci is also allowed. So great, you use that. But otherwise also, I don't think there's a challenge at all. And I'm over tipping. I don't want to do this actually. So even if you just stick to counting and adding, and if I ask you what is the task, it is counting and adding. So not too much of a difficulty either way. Solution is anyway not too much of a challenge. So Tia says, as V3 appeared in all our top three, so V3 can be the answer. I'm not sure whether that be sufficient logic to definitively say, though I think V3 is the answer. Are we okay with what is happening? Then I can do the same thing for vendor 3. Vendor 3 is 75 or so here. Then fill out the, sorry. Yes. Just tell me that if the task is doable and manageable and it's not like too much of a thing. It ain't a thing. It ain't a thing. So that's it. We are done, and I think none of it. I thought at least one of them will require some This is the only one which requires actual calculation work, and that too is just sum and averages. The rest of it is just language interpretation, and this is what we mean by data interpretation. That something new looking will come. Initially, when you look at it, your brain will think in all possible directions. So notice in the beginning we went very slowly, just observed the table, then looked at the question and found the data accordingly. Yeah, Ayush, that's the mind game, right? Because it's so amped up by everybody that, oh my god, right? DILR is tough. DILR, oh my god. Actually, in the last few years, I frankly feel that the hitting the cutoff part has been ridiculously easy. There are such easy sets which are, anybody can do them, right? And I have named them so zero prep LR sets, put them up. Some of them are available on YouTube as well. So Ayush, I think you are a course member, right? Please go through the whole DILR thing. Almost everything is done like this only. It's very kept very simple. So So that's it for this mini session. I hope everybody was okay with that. Next one coming soon. You will find the update on the Telegram. And now a little more LR work related to grouping. And once again, the process will be the same. You will be doing it. I will just be watching you do it. Because otherwise, the pre-recorded part is heavily loaded. If you haven't gone through it, please start doing that. Start with 1 or 2 a day. Start with easy ones. Easy ones can be spotted by simply the video time is going to be less than 15 minutes or so. If the video discussion time is 40 minutes, 20 minutes, 25 minutes, you can push the session for later. And then get that. And a lot of advice is given in each video anyway. So it's a continued journey. Finish it, stick to it for 15-20 days with 2-3 sets a day, and you will see a very quick change in perception as usual, that it's not like really a big issue, and then you'll get into that game playing habit, which is the final goal. It's the Telegram group link is available on in the description box, I think, below the video, or somebody can post it. It's not a group, it's a broadcast. As I asked someone, are you paying me to listen to you, or are you paying me to for me to talk? So it's a one-way street here. Are we okay with this? So I will see you soon. This is especially for DILR course members. Already a lot of LR, a little more LR, and a lot more general just data observation, interpretation, plus ratio percentages, etc. is going to happen for the next foreseeable future. assuming that you finish all the RC work in the recent time as well. Right? So that's it. See you soon.